Have you ever had a deal come across your desk or through your phone, via text or maybe an email where somebody's like, yo, I got this really good deal. You look at it, you take the time to look at it, you do your due diligence, and you make an offer and you try to lock it up, you try to send the deposit, but there's still no feedback on the seller side? Well, in today's video, I'm going to recap exactly how to avoid these situations moving forward. All right. So, for y'all that don't know, my name is Jay Nacombe. I flipped over 200 houses in the past 7 years, 8 years. And we do a lot of wholesaling, fix and flip, and long-term rentals as well. Starting to build that portfolio as we speak. So, in today's video, I'm going to give y'all a quick story on exactly what went down with this hot deal that came across my phone, right? So let me get the exact date as I looked at my phone. So, all right. So today is May 2nd. When was this? Okay, boom. This was April 24th. This was last week. I got a text message and it says, hey, Paula here. I just sent over the off-market Baltimore deal. Did you get a chance to review it? I was like, yes. I was like, I would like to make an offer. She was like, okay, I'll call you. So she calls me and she's like, hey, what would you like to offer? I'm like, look, the property needs a full renovation. It's pretty run down. I'm gonna have to be at, like 40,000. She was like, okay, well, I'm not sure if we can do it. I gotta talk to my boss. So that's when I get kind of nervous because a lot of times in real estate, anytime, time is of the essence. You know what I mean? So it's all about locking it up because you never know what can happen if you just let it go astray, right? So it's super, super important that you talk to key decision makers, right? So when it comes to off market real estate, we're talking about the people that are actually on title, right? So if not them, then, the next person to them, maybe it's the wholesaler that has the actual contract or an agent that has an actual listing agreement. Like these are the people that you want to reach out to and make sure that they're on top of things, right? So in this particular instance, I got kind of nervous because she said she had a boss. I was under the impression she was, maybe directly with the seller, but come to find out she didn't. So her boss calls me. He's like, hey, man, we really would like to do a deal with you. We got other offers at 48. If you could come up to 48, maybe we can make something happen. Like 48, I don't know, man. It's a big gap. I'll tell you what, let me call you back. So when I called him back, I was being transparent. I was like, look, on this particular deal, I would have to buy it at 40. But I have tons of investors that are looking for deals just like this. And I think I can get it moved at 48. So do you mind if I reach out to my buyers and see if they'll be interested? He was like, yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. At first, that's when I was like, okay, well, what's the title company? Because I wanted to make sure like this is the actual deal. He got it on the contract. He was like, here's the title company information. So he gave me the title company information. It was called Cosmopolitan. There's some title company based in Virginia I've never heard of, but apparently they do a lot of investment deals. I actually took the time to call them. Title company said, yes, we got the property on the contract. He was like, yeah, we can try to close it next week. I was like, you sure? Are you familiar with Baltimore? Because there's a lot of properties that, a lot of times when they're vacant, they have a bunch of liens on them, and I don't want to like go through this whole process and waste my time. He was like, nah, the lien certificate came back clean, and I'm pretty sure we could get it done, and by next week. Like, okay, great. This is like amazing news. I didn't expect to hear this. I was kind of skeptical calling, so I felt relieved. But before I got off the phone, he was like, wait, so who are you again? And I told him like, yeah, I'm Jay. I'm in the process of negotiating with the wholesaler to buy the deal. He was like, okay, Jay. He was like, do you work with John or Brian? And I was like, no, I'm just the independent buyer. But at that point, that's when I should have realized like there's a lot of parties in this situation, and it's gonna get complicated. That was a red flag. That was red flag number one. But anyway, I just continued to ignore it, and I just decided to move forward. So if I had the chance to do it all over again, moving forward, I'm going to make sure that whoever I'm negotiating with is a directly the seller or directly under contract with the seller, because that way they can actually say yes or no. Because if you're dealing with, in this case, it was not even a wholesaler; it was a disposition company. So let me not give away the let me not give away the story. All right. So just to back up, right? So after I speak with the title company, I get everything green lit on that end. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me make a few phone calls to buyers that I know in that area. I called first guy. I called him. He said he was going to take a look at it. He did. He was like, yo, the block is crazy. It's too much vacants on there, man. There was a vacant right next door, which looked really, really bad. So it's like, yo, this property needs 100K. I would hate to put 100K in it and then can't sell it because of the vacant next door. And I get it too. And also a big thing too with Section 8, they tend to avoid renting on blocks that has tons of board ups, especially, if it's next to one, if it's in between two board ups, definitely it's going to be hard to rent out. But even directly next to a board up, it's going to be hard to rent out Section 8 as well. So he passed, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm pretty sure at 48, it's a deal. We can move it, right? 48, put 100 into it. It's probably worth like 220, 230 all day. So I called my other guy. He came back. He said, yo, I looked at it. I like it. I want to offer 45. I was like, yeah, 45, not going to be able to do it. He was like, well, I really like it. I want to get it done. I was like, if you could come up to 55, we got a deal. So mind you, I got the wholesaler at 48, and I got the buyer at 55. So it's like a 7K spread. So he was like, okay, let's do it. 55K. Let me send the EMD. So I'm like, sweet. This is red flag number two. I should have never sent out this deal before actually locking it up with the wholesaler, because it was so hard to get back to him, right? Because after I had that great conversation with the buyer, I'm like, look, I got a buyer. Like, he wants to move ASAP on this. Like, what's up? He's like, yeah, man, let me talk to my boss and see. So he calls somebody. It's been like a few hours past. I still haven't heard from him. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's going on? You still want to move forward? He was like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to convince my buyer, your buyer? He was like, no, my boss. It's my boss. Like, okay, well, why don't you just get him on the phone? So he got him on the phone. So he said it's some guy named Joey. So his boss, Joey, gets on the phone. He says, hey, my name is Joey. I do nationwide acquisitions. He was like, I'm with a big wholesaling school academy, and we partner with them. So it's me. So look at this party, right? Look how much parties is involved. So it's the wholesaler that sent me the deal. He's like this is thumbs up. But nah, it's the wholesaler that sent me the deal, right? That's one person. It's a dispo company. He wants a cut. Then it's Joey. It's another guy. He wants a cut. He's not even direct to the seller. Then he said he partners with another wholesaling company that also does training with other wholesalers. So it's a third company that actually is direct with seller. He was like, yo, we would love to do the deal, but according to my wholesaling training school company, they have strict policies and procedures where they don't allow our deals to have assigners on it. I'm like, why does it matter if I'm putting in the EMD? Like, who cares who's closing what on who? Like, why does it matter? He's like, yeah, man, they're real strict with that, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. So at this point, I'm just fed up with the whole back and forth, not talking to action, key principles in the transaction. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just chalk this one up and call it an L. So that was my that was a whirlwind of like maybe like 3 days of talking to three different wholesalers about a deal that I didn't even talk to the end, the actual direct person that was actually talking with the seller. So I'm like, yo, if it's this crazy in the beginning, I can only imagine how it's going to be at the closing table. So I'm like, you know what? There's too much going on. Let me just exit stage left. So just after reflecting, this past week, this is what I like to do on a weekend. I was like, moving forward, it's going to be a few things, right? Number one, like if you are not direct to seller, please, 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 for the life of you, to save you and I both some time, don't send me any deals. Like I don't want to see it unless you are directly with the seller, because all this back and forth is gonna like get lost in translation, get lost in the sauce. So I don't want to deal with people that's not directly with the seller, because at the end of the day, you have no jurisdiction. You're not gonna make me, we can't sign a deal. So it's pointless at this point. You know what I mean? So number two, like if you can't like produce any sort of paperwork, like I need to see a purchase agreement. I need to see something to show that you are a decision maker. I mean, that goes in line with number one, but it's just being more thorough about having the policies and procedures in place so that way we don't go through these headaches again. All right, so I only want to talk to decision makers only, and if you got the paperwork to show proof. So other than that, you just trying to daisy chain, and usually I don't mind daisy chains, but when you're trying to get yourself in the middle of it and you're just clogging up the deal and just souring everything else for everybody else, especially the seller, right? Because at the end of the day, the seller needs to be helped out of this property, and you're not adding value by being in the middle of this transaction. So look, that's just my 2 cents on how I feel about daisy chains. If y'all got opinions on daisy chains, or if y'all have positive experiences dealing with that or actually trying to get one closed, feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you like some more of this content, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, peace.